If I had $50,000 to invest in 2026, here is exactly what I would do. Not theory, not generic advice. This is how I actually build portfolios and where I would allocate my real money. Because investing isn't really about excitement. It is about structure. It is about the mindset. Structure creates the confidence that we want to see in investment strategy. So before we talk into where the money actually goes, we need to talk about the way and changing the way you think about investing. The first question is not what I can earn, it's how much can you afford to lose. This really makes a big difference because $50,000 to a lot of individuals is long-term capital. That means we're not needing this money for 5 years, 10 years, that you can invest it with intentionality and you can invest it for an extended amount of time. If you need the money in the next year, possibly 2 to 3 years, it shouldn't be in the market, period. The market is going to go up. The market is going to go down. You are going to see a lot of variations throughout that time frame. And assuming, number one, this is long-term money, that is how we invest. If you don't have that 5-year runway, it really doesn't make a big difference or really a big reason to put it in there. Patience and really compounding is what is going to give you the advantage when it comes to investing. Now, of course, $50,000 for a lot of individuals is an incredible amount of money. If you start with 1,000, if you start with 10,000, if you start with 25,000, doesn't really make a big difference because these allocations we are going to break down in their entirety. So when we think about the first allocation and thinking of that $50,000 marker, we are putting 70% or 35,000 into a broad low cost index. This is going to be the foundation. This is going to be the baseline. This is where the market will reward people that are in there for an extended amount of time. It is not about a prediction. And when you start looking at a longer time frame, something like the S&P 500 requires and rewards investors that are in there. My core would look like this, either looking at something like the VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500, or looking at something like the VTI, which is the entire market itself, including your large caps, your mid caps, and your small caps in there. Those are two that I would look at, and those are the two that I would have and really going in there. You're going to be looking at a low expense ratio with both of them. They are going to be highly diversified, which of course, looking at the growth in the S&P 500, a lot of people say it's very, very heavy when it comes to tech, but it is very tax efficient as well. This is the engine. It's not exciting. It is about the compounding that we're putting in there. And of that 50,000, like I said, we are putting 70% in there or 35,000 into that in its entirety. Now, the second part I would look at in 15% of that allocation, $7,500 would go towards stability. Now, again, depending where you are, you could be looking at like short-term bonds. For me personally, I would do something with high quality dividend focused ETFs, which is going to be the SCHD. This is going to give you income. This is going to give you stability. This is also going to provide you an incredible amount of growth in a value ETF that has really done incredibly well. Last couple of years, the growth wasn't there, but you have to remember exactly what the SCHD is built for. It is not built for tech. It is not built for huge double-digit growth. And unfortunately, out of this ETF, you are not going to see that. But of course, you are looking for the reduction of volatility. You want to lower the risk, and if the market drops off, and trust me, there will be a point in time where the market does drop off. This allocation will soften that blow in the entirety. Stability isn't weakness. It is about endurance. And when it comes to investing, endurance is what we're looking for. And the last one I'd look at, which would be, of course, what most people want to start with is the opportunity, the big, big growth. We're putting $5,000 into ETFs and really sector ETFs, but you could even go a little bit broader like that with, let's say, a QQQ, but you could also look at specific sectors like the SMH, which is the Van Eck Semiconductor Fund. You could look at very, very specific. If you're looking at AI, if you're looking at energy, you could look at healthcare infrastructure. There's a lot of different ways that you could play really going in there, or even looking at individual companies. Now, me personally, I do not advise and I do not invest into individual companies. There is only one that I own in its entirety, which is NVIDIA, that I do carry, and that is literally the only individual company that I have. That's through Robinhood, and I do have some links down below for that. And of course, you could go a little bit crazy because you're thinking that 10%. It is a very, very small amount when you want to cap the amount of risk that you can have, because when it comes to concentration, concentration usually includes a lot more risk. You could go into something that has a little bit more tech heavy, and a little bit exposure to gold, like a GDE. You could do a lot of very interesting things. But like I said, when it comes to something of this nature and thinking of it, you're looking for growth. And this growth is going to outpace the S&P 500, is going to outpace the VTI, the total stock market. This is where we want the growth to come from, but we don't want to allocate so much risk that the portfolio could be completely upside down if the market does a pullback, or if we see a tech bubble like a lot of people are really forecasting. And really, risk is meant to be intentional, not emotional. It's not something that you want to get into, make a quick buck, and then pull out of, because the allocation, and if you're looking at this allocation, if it doubles, absolutely great. If we start seeing 100% tech growth in the next 4 to 5 years, if it struggles, that's where it can derail the portfolio in the entirety. It can be devastating if your tech pulls back. Let's say, for instance, you're going in here and you have 50, 60, 70% into some of those big tech companies. If you're going ahead and you're dropping $50,000 in there, which for me personally, I do not advise. I do dollar cost averaging, whether I have $1,000 or I have $10,000. I allocate a certain percentage, usually no more than $1,000 a week, to go in there dollar cost averaging. It really, discipline protects the downside here. And that is where, again, we have an allocation between a foundation. We have something that is a little bit more risky. That is going to be some of that growth. And we have a section of this portfolio that is all about that income, like the SCHD. And the final one, or the final $2,500 in here, I would leave it in cash. Yes, every investment strategy, including my own, has a cash reserve. And because the cash is really optional for a lot of people, it allows me to allocate when we see pullbacks, allocate when we see corrections. And right now, taking advantage of a lot of people that are selling off. And we're starting to see it with Bitcoin. If you want to be on one side of the fence and say Bitcoin is really, really overvalued at now, I believe it's around $80,000. People are saying that 120,000 that it was way overvalued. People are saying at 30,000 that it was way overvalued. Me personally, I believe in blockchain technology. In my portfolio itself, I have 5% of it allocated to Bitcoin. I'm not going to go all crazy again because of the risk that's in there, but overall, you have to also be okay where if it goes to zero, that's it. You're out of Bitcoin. You lost that money, that money that was earmarked, that 5% of the portfolio. If it goes to zero, you know during that point that the money is gone. If it goes to $5 million, could have invested more, but I didn't want the risk. Overall, 5% is what I'm doing. So of course, when we start looking at a build like this with $50,000, what I wouldn't do with it, now I would not try to time the market. When you look at trying to time the market, it is virtually impossible, even for professional traders, to actually go in there and time the market. I definitely wouldn't go all in on one stock. It makes for a great story when you look at the news, the headlines, or social media. But I know a ton of people that have invested into individual stocks and have been burned in their entirety. I definitely wouldn't invest in social media or really invest in headlines or what is hot right now. We see there's going to be an IPO, with SpaceX and everything around that. It's going to be kind of crazy because you can overreact to today's volatility. Tariffs might come out. You might see a news story. You might be chasing performance or only buying when the market is green. That is counterintuitive, guys. When the market does a pullback 5, 10, 15, 20%, that's the time you need to be allocating cash in that portfolio. And of course, when we start looking at this, consistency will always beat excitement. Structure will always beat this speculation. Now, of course, when it comes to $50,000, when we talk about where is it going in its entirety, we already know how to invest in, but I would prioritize some of your tax advantage accounts, thinking of your IRAs, thinking of your 401ks, thinking of your Roth IRAs, then going into taxable brokerage accounts, depending on what the scenario looks like and how far you are away from retirement. Because of course, tax efficiency within these accounts can absolutely, and it does compound as well. Not just as wisely, you have to invest intelligently when it comes to this. So of course, bigger picture, like we always do with these videos, it is about predicting 2026. It's about building something durable, because wealth is really built in those very dramatic moments. We see a majority of people, if they are really over risking the portfolio, it's kind of crazy and can all collapse together. It's about consistency year over year, allocation after allocation, and of course, contribution over contribution. When you start doing this and the compounding effect that we see with investing, That is how true wealth is made. Because most people think that investing is about the next big thing, whether it's a tech stock, whether it's an ETF, whether it's cryptocurrency. It isn't. It is about building a system that is going to make it through your bull markets, through your bear markets, through your headlines, through your fear, through your greed. And if you build it correctly, time will do the heavy lifting. If you're putting in the $50,000 in 2026, not very flashy, not very complicated, very boring, but it is discipline when it comes to investing. And I'll catch you in the next video.